And welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Wednesday. We're back after missing last week due to some different things. Kind of made me upset, anyways, we'll talk about it in a minute. So welcome to Bitcoin Wednesday. I am waiting on Vance. He should probably be joining us before too long, but I'll get started. Basically, I'm just a little bit bugged because crypto has been down. Now, last Monday and Tuesday, crypto was doing pretty good. I mean, we were seeing some gains. We were in the green, doing good. And it seems like this is just the case with Bitcoin Wednesday. I don't know what the deal is, but Wednesday morning the market went kaput, and it really dropped quite a bit, and it didn't get any better. And then it got worse, and then it got worse the next day. So I think over a 2-day span, Bitcoin lost $1,000. From $7,400 down to 72 or so. So anyway, it's kind of frustrating there, but what do you do? It is crypto. I like to say I'm a crypto enthusiast. It should be more of I'm a wagering enthusiast because I feel like I'm gambling with my money here. It is a gamble. It is a risk jumping into crypto, but it's still super early. So if you're jumping in, the market's low right now. Super time to buy. I am buying up some more coins as I can, and I can see them getting back to the to areas that they were before last January, to the highs. So we got a lot of different coins that can still 10 times, 20 times. I mean, I was thinking about Cardano, for instance, and it hit over $100 or over $1 last January, and then it's been down. It's been down 11, 12, 13 cents. And I kept thinking, I'm going to buy some more of that. I'm going to buy some more of it. And at 10 cents, it could still 10 times its money, I believe. Well, now it's hovering around 6 cents. So a very good chance of 20 times your money with that one. So anyways, there's some good ones. Let's see. It looks like Vance is on. I better put my headset up on so I can hear him. Can you hear me? He probably can. All right, let's bring him in. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And there he is. Welcome, Vance, to the program. How are we doing tonight?
Good, man. I'm just sharing stuff right now. So,
okay, good. Got started a little bit early, but I was just talking about how frustrating it is that every Wednesday comes around and we have a drop in price or we have things go down. And last Wednesday was bad. I told him, things were going good. Bitcoin was up about $7,400. And by Wednesday morning, it had jumped clear down to 6,500 or so. And then even went a little bit lower, within a 2-day span, it lost about $1,000. And that's frustrating when you're doing a show and you're talking about crypto and you're trying to pump everybody up and get them pumped up and the hype and everything like that. And then you have a crappy crypto day. It doesn't make doing the show very fun. And that's not why we didn't do the show. Vance, I think you had your fantasy football draft. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that going on last week.
Something like that. Last Wednesday night, so you could have Thursday night football. I was working until almost 9 o'clock that night, and so it was just a busy day. And so we decided there's nothing to talk about. Let's just skip a week. It's our show, and we can do it if we want to, right?
That's right.
So, anyways, we're glad if you're watching. Welcome to the program tonight. I was just talking a little bit about Cardano. I don't know if you heard me.
I just telling.
So, I kept thinking, what do I want to buy back in at? What do I want to do? And I'm looking at coins, and I look at the market history from January till now. And this was about a week ago. I was looking at this, and I'm thinking, okay, what kind of percentages can I get these coins up? And Cardano was one I've been really interested in because I do believe it can still hit $1, and it's been fairly low. It's been 13, 14 cent range. I'm thinking, man, if it just gets down to 10 cents, I think you could very easily 10 times your money with that coin. So, well, now over the last 2 days, it's now hovering around the 6 cent range. So all of a sudden, that 10% gain, 10 times gain, now becomes almost 20 times gain, in my opinion, because I do think it'll reach $1 again. Anyways, That's all I was talking about. Just all the good buys right now. It's scary, and that's why people are kind of staying away.
Well, they're scared because it's jumped down so much. It's dropped down so much. But
right.
this is the time where you, as a true investor, this is where you would be buying.
This is Warren Buffett time, right?
Yeah, this is where as a true investor, this is where you'd be buying.
When everyone else is fearful, be greedy.
That's right.
When everybody's greedy, be fearful. So those are good words of advice. And it's definitely, I mean, the market's down. I'm starting to see a little bit of green today, though, which is good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, looking at Bitcoin, I was looking earlier today. It was like, about $150 lower than where it's at right now.
Looks like it's about almost just under 6,400.
It's come up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, according to mine, it's in the last 24 hours, it's up $134. So not bad. I mean, it hasn't jumped up much since last week, but there's been some surprising ones. Ether is surprising. Ethereum, man, how low did it go? It went down to like $1 or 150 or so, wasn't it? Did it get in the 150 range?
Yep. I don't think it did, but it hit. What's that right now? It's 190 now. It actually, I saw it past 170.
Yeah, the 167 was the 24-hour low. So I didn't know if it went any lower.
Right,
but
which they said was its 14-month low was when it hit that.
Yeah, where's Litecoin? $53.
Yeah.
But Ethereum, what in the crap is going on with Ethereum, dude? That is low. Yeah. I haven't been hearing the news and stuff of really what's going on with it, but something's causing it to take a pretty good hit.
Has been, I don't know. I was trying to find out a little bit more of that actually before we started this up tonight. And there's just, I don't know, there's a lot of speculation on that there's just a lot of projects that were Ethereum based that have just fallen off, that have tanked. And that's one of the reasons why Ethereum's not doing well right now, is because there's a lot of faith that's dropped out of like the ERC20 projects and everything.
Right.
The one thing that just happened recently is the CEO of Ethereum, what is his name?
Vitalik or something
like that, just came out, and he just did an announcement saying basically that he believes that the days of 1,000 times return in crypto is gone. That's gone. I'm like, how do you figure? So I haven't
that at all. Yeah,
I haven't seen his interview with that. I saw the headline on the article and everything, but I'm like, how do you figure when we have real money going to be coming in to the market right now? And this is where there were so many people that actually kind of rejected what he was saying. One of them's the CEO of Coinbase, who's been very vocal about how Bitcoin and crypto is going to take over the world, basically that fiat's going to fail. And Bitcoin will be the global currency, by 2030 or something like that, So he's talking about how in the next 12 years, that's basically all going to be gone. Fiat's all going to be gone, and that your central currency for the world will be Bitcoin. So he's not the only one that's talking like that. So, but he is very vocal on things like this. So I don't know whether that's an issue of what's making Ethereum drop. I don't know, but you got to understand too, everybody's freaking out about, I have never seen Ethereum this low. Well, yeah, 14 months ago it was this low. That's when we passed this. And I think it's kind of funny because if you look 14 months ago at Bitcoin, we're at the same price.
Yeah.
This is
maybe even a little higher, right? I mean,
actually,
14
we're higher.
We're higher.
Maybe a little higher, but the fact is everything's low. XRP's low, Litecoin's low. They're all low, guys. It's not that everybody's, people were talking the week before how Bitcoin's dead. No, Bitcoin's not dead, not even close. And then now this week it's Ethereum's dead. No, it's not. Sorry.
It's funny too, because the big wigs, the bankers and those guys, when it's down, man, they start bagging on it bad. I mean, they're doing everything they can to keep driving it down.
Yeah.
Why? So they can buy more. at a cheaper price.
Yep.
They're,
So they can
they're
buy
buying
more.
it. Don't be fooled by anything. They are buying up as much crypto as they can because they know they want to be in it. They want the big gains. So
and that happened last week. We had an issue last week with it actually was playing around Goldman Sachs with FUD, with fake news that was coming out that they were not getting into the exchange game, that they weren't getting into the crypto game at all. And that caused a lot of droppage. I mean, that caused like $600 in a couple of hours after that news came out, and then finally by the next day, finally is when they announced, oh no, that's fake news. We're coming into crypto. We just don't know when yet, and they changed it. But I mean, we had dropped $1,000 in the price of Bitcoin by the time that news had come out and it was corrected.
Right. And that was basically the start of that downfall right there.
Right. And so there was a lot of people that were doing this mad sell out because why? They'd gone up. I mean, you got to understand, Bitcoin was almost in the 5,000. Actually, it hit like $5,900 and finally was up to almost $7,500 when that news started coming out and people just dumped. They're like, oh, I got some money back. I made some money on this and dumped, and now we're kind of stabilizing again. So
now they're buying back in, right?
Yeah, they bought back in, and our the price is going to start coming up. So, but yeah, I just looking at my notepad here of the last couple of weeks, just of all the stuff that's happened is kind of crazy. It's just amazing in the crypto space how much news and change and just stuff happens in that amount of time. This is just absolutely crazy. Looking back at this, but I don't know. I was going to talk more about what's going on recently with a lot of stuff. Do
you remember the HTML coin, right?
Yeah,
it's up 104% today.
Yeah, it's being that's one of those that's manipulated. But look at is it Bitcoin Diamond? Where's Bitcoin Diamond today? Only at 4%, and that one was jumping like 100% when everything was down because it being manipulated so bad. I was looking at another one,
which is easy to do when you're under those, under a penny.
Yeah, I was looking at another one yesterday that was crazy. And I think number 98, Aurora. I mean, there is a large circulating supply, but it is quite cheap. It's $0.015, right? For these, that's up 44% today. And look at the dip off on that one, and it's only the jump on it. I mean,
it keeps rising too. It's at 90 now. I got it at 95.
Yeah, there's some crazy things. Oh, another one here I found that's 1/10 of a penny, 1/10 of a cent, and there's a huge circulating supply of 32 billion of these coins, but it's called Noah coin. It's at position 109. Look at the graph on that. If that's not manipulation, I don't know what is. Oh, it's up 35% today.
Huh.
Another one, number 115, APIS, same thing, 0.8 of a cent. Look, 4.5 billion, almost 5 billion circulating supply. Look at the graph on that. Up 52% today.
Yes.
There's some serious manipulation going on in the market.
Down 103% tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to do when you got this a tenth of a penny and things like that. I mean, you can go in and change the market. So,
well, if you've got $1 million sitting in an exchange to play back and forth, you could easily manipulate the market pretty easily on these penny stocks.
Yep.
These penny coins.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite interesting. But I don't know. I mean, I thought there's a lot of articles, a lot of speculation coming out right now just about how, Bitcoin's here to stay, that no government can stop it. It's here. They just need to accept it and stop delaying things. There's a lot of hits against SEC dragging their feet more and more, with ETFs. And I think a lot of it's coming from Coinbase Coinbase is actually getting ready to do their own ETF with BlackRock. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I know that's like within the next 3 weeks is when theirs goes up for the SEC. What's nice is the CEO of Coinbase has actually been very vocal about how governments need to get on board. And I think that's where you see a lot of other governments are. Japan's already got all their regulatory stuff ready to go. I think they're releasing that next week. They're announcing everything next week, but they've within a month or two have gotten all that done and ready to go. So they've been quite on board with it. India's doing the same thing, getting their regulation, and it's been a month that they've been working on it, and it's ready to come out. And we're still sitting around a year later with the SEC because they can't get their shit together. It's pretty much what it comes down to.
Well, it's interesting because problem with our government, and I think if you've watched any of the judicial hearings that were last week at all, there's a Senator Sass from Nebraska or something, and he said it right. I mean, it's the perfect quote or little speech that everybody needs to listen to. But the problem with Washington is the legislators, senators, and representatives and stuff are not doing their jobs. They are they're basically passing the buck to the bureaucrats, and giving them the opportunity instead of making the exact law how it should be. Here's a very broad law. Here you go. You guys determine what happens. And so then it's all goofed up. Well, that's the problem with government and trying to get anything done. I've worked with government trying to do a project here in Utah, and it's very difficult because the bureaucrats don't really care. They're going to come to work day in, day out. And if you're a bureaucrat, I'm not necessarily dogging on you, but it's just kind of a basic knowledge that things do not move very fast.
Right.
You're working with government agencies. They're not elected officials. And so they're there at their job, and they're doing their job, but just not at the time and speed that most people want to get done. And that's the same thing that's going on with crypto and the SEC right now. They're just kind of biding their time, and they're in no hurry. No rush. Meanwhile, the rest of the world, as we see, are starting to pass us up in the crypto realms. We used to really be number one here, basically. And then you got exchanges popping up you got exchanges popping up everywhere throughout the world. Binance Coin is, or Binance, not Coin, but Binance is the biggest exchange now, and they're accepting fiat. They were nothing a year ago,
Right. They're only a company of 100 employees.
Yeah, they're $1 billion company. They made like $1 billion last year, didn't they?
Oh, no, quarter. That's what they're making quarterly.
I mean, it's crazy numbers.
No, it's not even quarterly. It's like monthly, dude. They were like 170 billion last year is what they made, and they're a team of 100 people. That's what's and most of them work from home. Most of them are remote.
So it's it's definitely opportunity. I actually just got an email tonight or today sometime that Bittrex is now. I got it because I'm in Utah, and it said that has now been added with USD, so I can now do USD
for the state of Utah.
Straight to Bittrex. Yeah.
Right. So because every state is basically its own country here in the US when it comes to crypto. So yeah.
So Arizona seems to be lacking on some of those, right? You've been like Gemini. You were like the very last one
on Gemini, which is the Winklevoss twins. Arizona was the last one. They finally last month actually just got approved. So, which is good. I actually did get that Bittrex one for Arizona too, and I got it last month.
Okay.
So something must have happened. Yeah, something must have happened with the state of Arizona that they passed a bill or something happened where crypto basically was going to be allowed here, and suddenly all the exchanges got it. Because I got an email from Binance too, saying that crypto was going to be or fiat to crypto type of deal for Binance as well. So
that's cool. I wasn't looking. I didn't even know that was happening. I just saw the email. I thought, sweet, that's cool. Another option, other than Coinbase or something. So
Yeah. So that works out it's working out quite a bit. And I think that's why there's been a lot of news lately about Coinbase, that supposedly they've got 50 coins in the works that they're looking to bring on, but they're trying to, everything I've read and everything I've heard so far with reviews and articles and everything have been that they're being careful because they know how bad the price of coins fluctuates every time they announce something.
Right.
So they don't want to say, oh, we're doing all this, and then boom, it's done. And suddenly the crypto space goes crazy, right? They're trying to ease their way into it a little bit and say, okay, these 3 coins or these 5 coins are coming on, and then they let those prices settle and then slowly start bringing them. So that's why we just got Ethereum Classic on there. You know, they just added that one. So, and probably we'll have, what was it? Those 5 that they had talked about. That was one of them, like Ox and EOS and yeah,
right.
that they'll be bringing on. But they actually have a list of about 50 coins that they've shown. It's actually a little article that came out that had the picture of Coinbase with the 50 coins that they're reviewing right now. So, but I think they're kind of what a lot of people are saying is that it is kind of a slow process because they've just had such a big impact on the crypto space. They don't want to hurt the market too much with pump and dumps and everything else just with the news. So, I can kind of understand that side of things.
Right.
You know, but they are talking about how, and he's one of these guys that's talking about how, you know, crypto's here to stay. Bitcoin is going to be global, and it could take over as you know, standardized fiat money almost, you know, and everything. And he's basically being very vocal about it to other governments, not even to the U.S., but other governments where crypto is very big, saying, "Listen, you need to accept this. We'll hold your hand and get you through it, or you can fight it all you want, and it's just going to pass you by anyway," type of deal. So he's been very good at that, and he's talked about how in the next 5 years, right now, we figure about 40. There's about 40 million people in the crypto space right now in the world. There's only 40 million in the world. That's quite low. Wow. You think about it. That's a small amount, right, of people actually in crypto in the world. Is 40 million people. That's why we're less of, you know, we're that 1%, less of a 1%. Yeah. So they're talking about in the next 5 years, we'll be closer to 1 billion people. So the change of the crypto environment is going to just be drastic. And the
next how many years?
The next 5 years.
Okay.
So it'll be to 1 billion people in the next 5 years. And a lot of it's because of institutional money coming in will make a big difference on this. Okay. And then of course, a lot of governments now taking heed and actually recognizing crypto makes a big difference too, because that actually brings more people in. That's where mass adoption comes from. Once the governments start regulating it and announce that they're doing this and this, well, people's ears start perking up because they're like, what is it? Why are we doing this? What's going on? Why is the government looking at this? Right. So we see other big governments out there taking a big interest in this. So that's going to make a difference. The other thing is, I wrote this down, is that they did a poll in the US saying, you know, just taking like these averages around the US of how many people have actually heard of crypto, have heard of Bitcoin. And it's now, at least here in the US, it's up to 80%.
Wow.
So I have actually heard of crypto because it's in the news all the time. It's SEC, you know, everything's going on. So the awareness of crypto has come up quite a bit, you know, where that used to be, it was like 20%, you know, and most of that was under the age of 35 or 34 or something like that, you know.
I was just going to say the young people know about it because it was interesting last year about this time. I remember doing some things, and we just got in, you know, early in the year or whatever. And not many people were talking about it or knew much about it, you know. But I was at some event and these kids were talking about Bitcoin. I was like, wow, that's cool. And then I was over in a different area and there was kids. Yeah, I wish I had a couple of Bitcoin, you know, because it had just started kind of to go, you know. That's when it was back in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. And I'm thinking, man, kids know about it. Kids have heard about it.
Yeah.
And the millennials, these kids are going to be the ones that are going to change things. They're going to be using more digital currency, I think.
Yeah. Well, and this is kind of an interesting and kind of a side topic, but I shared an article earlier this week about Wyoming and about the different bills there's like 11 different bills that have been passed in Wyoming. And now they've announced that basically crypto is not considered a property and taxed as a property in the state of Wyoming. So basically it's basically tax free in the state of Wyoming. Okay. And there's not, just so people understand, there's not a state income tax there anyway. So you don't pay tax on income from the state of Wyoming, but there is very low property tax and there's still business tax there and everything. But personal income tax doesn't exist. So that's why a lot of people use LLCs there, start companies there because of the benefits of this. Well, one of the bills that they just passed brought out that crypto is not considered property in the state of Wyoming, and so it's not liable for tax. So I think that's going to be quite interesting. Wyoming just had a big event over in I'm pretty sure it was Cheyenne, but it was called the Wyoming Hackathon, and it's been going around for a couple of years now. But it's become extremely crypto based now because of all the bills in the last year that have passed in the state of Wyoming, because they want crypto business there. So there's a lot of companies that are starting to move from other parts of the country there that are crypto based or have things in crypto anyway. But it was quite interesting because the speakers that they had come in and talk, some of them, particularly, you can go look this up on YouTube. You can go find the videos of it and everything. But one of them, the kid was 12 years old. He had been in crypto for the past year with his dad, basically. They're launching an ICO and everything, but he's 12 years old and he's the speaker up there talking about their project that they're going on. I thought it's quite interesting.
Very cool.
Go take a look if you get a chance, but it's the Wyoming Hackathon. So, I mean, there are stuff there. Let's put it this way. There's projects aren't standing still waiting for the SEC. They're moving on. And that's why we're finding the bigger projects like Ripple for XRP, for instance, they're done waiting around on the SEC. They're constantly in the news just as much as Coinbase is right now. Right. And why? It's because they're dealing with other governments, other banking industries around the world globally. So again, read an article today that talked about how they have so much that this is XRP has so much going on. They can't announce it all, because they're signing a deal a week right now with banks around the world. Wow. Because they're the anti-crypto, but the fact is they're in the banking industry. They have a use case of being in the banking industry and a payment use. Okay, and a good product for the banking industry, right? Because they do have their network. I don't know what's called. It's not the Lightning Network, but they have their payment network. XRapid. That's right. XRapid. So basically, they're signing deals with banks at one a week right now globally. Okay, and they can't announce it because there's just too much going on. Okay, but they basically have not given up, but they've stopped fighting with SEC about this stuff, and it probably because one, Ripple, their executive team are the lawmakers from the SEC. I mean, they are the chairs. They don't care. It's going to pass. They're going to get it through one day. So we're just going to keep going until it does go through. Right. And I think it's that they don't even care who gets it through. Right. They don't care. They'll let the NASDAQ, they'll let the New York Stock Exchange go through. And that's the thing they're talking about, that was the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange. They're thinking is going to be the first one to actually get an ETF passed. Will be the first one to get the ETF passed. So that will be the future. We know that this is going to happen, that it's going to be put in people's retirement funds, that it's going to be put in hedge funds. If it isn't already, to tell you the truth, it's just now it'll have a legal law around it, a ramification around it, whatever you want to call it. It'll be recognized, and that the big stock exchanges, the New York Stock Exchange, those will actually have their own exchange where this will be traded. So Yeah, I think Bitcoin has a big future ahead of it still, a really big future.
And I think just going back to the Wyoming subject for a minute, Wyoming does not get enough credit and notability that they deserve. I mean, you're talking about people might think it's just a farm country, and there's more cows than people there and stuff like that. But Wyoming is very, very, very innovative. Wyoming was the first one to come up with the LLC. And now who uses LLCs? I can't think of anybody that doesn't have an LLC.
Right.
It's popular. Same, they're right in there with the crypto. They're the first ones to pass bills and to make it very crypto friendly. They're a very good state for doing business in. And so definitely, if there's people out there looking for opportunities in crypto, Wyoming is a good place to look, because they're very business friendly, low taxes, no state taxes. So very good business friendly state. So I just want to kind of put that out there to our listeners. So anywho, so I'm sure you got more news to talk about.
There's so much here. We don't have time to cover it, to tell you the truth, but it's because it's been 2 weeks.
Let me just quickly, I just want to look at what is my laptop doing. It is trying to scan viruses. Not right now. I'm too busy. Remind me in a month. Okay, good. So I just wanted to look at the coin market cap a little bit, because it has been 2 weeks, and it is quite significantly different than it was 2 weeks ago even.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, we had a 228 billion market cap. Today, right now, it looks like we're at 195 billion. So we've lost $33 billion in 2 weeks' time.
Right.
And most of that has been in 1 week's time, realistically. I didn't look at the market. I didn't pay attention last Wednesday, but I bet most of it has been in that week's time. So Bitcoin was at 7,000. It's at 6,400 today. So down a little bit from 2 weeks. The Bitcoin dominance, however, has gone up to 56.8%. 2 weeks ago,
which is a new time high.
Yes, it's very high. So, and that's just showing, people are scared. They're getting out. They're getting out of those altcoins, especially. And some have been putting more money into Bitcoin itself, just because they feel like it's a little bit more stable, even though, 7,400 to 6,400 is not very stable.
Right.
However, they have confidence that it will be back. It will climb higher. And so that's where the money seems to be right now. But anyway,
and just so you know, I'm looking at the market cap here for the last week. On the 5th, so which was Wednesday last week, when the drop happened, we were at 240 billion.
Oh, see, yeah. So we were up $12 billion from the week before. So we're at 240. So we lost $45 billion in one week. Because
I know Bitcoin was at almost 7,500 last week. And we dropped in 3 hours. You and I had talked about this. In 3 hours, we dropped $600.
Yeah, and by the next day, it had been over $1,000 that we dropped.
By the time the next day it hit, we had dropped another 400 or so.
Yeah.
So I'm just pulling that up.
And that was Goldman Sachs. A lot of that, this is the Goldman Sachs news.
Right.
Oh, why is this big company that's been so, they've been promoting it. They're going to do their own exchange. They're going to do all this stuff. All of a sudden, they're not going to do it. What's the red flags going up? I mean, people are thinking, ooh, maybe they're having issues that they're not going to get this passed, and crypto's not good. And no, it's just fake news.
Yeah, it's just fake news.
So.
But that was, we did find out that was someone manipulated that.
Yes.
With the
wallet that
BitMEX,
put in a lot of money. Yes.
Yeah, with the BitMEX, someone had put $75 million in Bitcoin against Bitcoin, against the market. They were shorting it, saying that it was going to go down. And then 2 days later, what happens? Fake news comes out on Goldman Sachs, and we drop out $1,000 overnight. So that was very much manipulated, and we were at $7,400 that day.
And so we need more mass adoption. We need more people buying it, more people getting into it, because I think the more that are out there, the more that have it and control it, I think it'll become much harder to manipulate, I guess,
Right.
is what I'm saying. Don't you think? Don't you agree?
No, no, it's exactly what it is. The more people that are in it, the more money it's in it. Someone that has 75 million isn't going to matter, to tell you the truth.
Right. If someone might have $75 million in it, but if we got $3 trillion in Bitcoin out there,
right,
who cares
and
about 75 million?
Right. And whatever Goldman Sachs says, it won't matter because we'll have 5 other stock exchanges that are in it. We're going to, we'll have the Chicago, Boston, and New York stock exchanges that are in it with trillions of dollars. So no one really cares what Goldman Sachs is going to say at the time, because it's not going to affect the market in such a way that there's only 40 million of us in there. There's over 1 billion users in there.
Right. And that's why it's very volatile right now. I mean, it is the early days. It is the early days. It's not the early days, West, but it's definitely still a good time to get in. I mean, it's like I said, we lost how much? We've lost some of the things have lost 90%, 75%. I mean, a lot of profit to be made right now. Just you got to get in, you got to hold it,
but this is the early days of the World Wide Web 20 years ago. I mean, that's what this is. People are still trying to figure out how to make money with crypto, just like they did with their www designation. I mean,
put www really on it, make some money, right? Yeah.
So that's kind of how we're sitting right now. So things are going to change. Whether this ETF getting approved, one of these ETFs actually helps the market, we don't really know yet. I see it as in bringing in more money and stabilizing the market. I really do. But at the same time, a lot of people said the same thing about how futures contracts were going to help. And I couldn't figure that one out. I was like, well, that could make it go down. I always thought that.
You're right.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to be trading futures or I'm not going to be trying to short or long anything, but I could see how that was going to affect it. And sure enough, that was part of where there was some drop, because immediately after the futures hit, I mean, there was a lot of guys out there, and whether that was institutional money or not that was doing it, I don't know, but they were shorting Bitcoin. Most people were shorting Bitcoin, saying it was going to fail. And then we watched it drop. So whether the ETF will help immediately, I don't know. I don't, to tell you the truth, I don't think there's going to be an ETF approved until 2019. I have this feeling that I don't think they're going to keep pushing this out until 2019. So I think it's going to be the first of next year.
They're trying to get their ducks in the row. I don't think there's any way they want to stop it. They just want to know how they're going to get their piece of the pie. How are we going to be able to classify it? How are we going to,
Right. The thing is, I think but like I said, the group that owns the New York Stock Exchange seems to be the biggest that's trying to get this ETF passed. I think they will be the first, to tell you the truth, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. I just don't think it's going to happen until next year, though.
We shall wait and see. Okay, so we're kind of running short on time, obviously.
Yeah.
We can't do this all night, but I know we've got some exciting and a lot of good news out of one of our favorite coins. And I know you're just dying to share it right now, right?
There's a lot to talk about that's gone on this week with Electroneum. Yeah, there's a lot that's gone on this past week. They've put out so many things. They've got, where do we start? Instant payment. Let's start with instant payment. Instant payment network. What's that?
Tell them what it is.
So instant payment is basically a payments system for crypto being used basically anywhere, to pay for goods, services, basically whatever. Okay. Wherever you're going to use fiat, you have the ability to use crypto. Okay. And so point of sale terminals, you go buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, as long as their terminal is set up to accept crypto with this instant payment system, you can buy there. Okay. So they've already been testing. What's that?
So why is this so much different than something like Bitcoin Cash or something coming out?
Well, it's
I mean, there's other people, there's other places that are going to accept crypto, but why is this special? Because there is a reason why this is so special.
Because one, we're not waiting on the blockchain to make its calculation, or for someone to mine this on the blockchain. We're not waiting around for that. This is basically an instant transaction, just like what Visa does for your debit card. Okay. So when you go into, let's say you go into Starbucks and you buy your $10 latte. Okay. You use your debit card with a Visa on it, or a MasterCard, or a Discover, something along those lines. Okay. You go in, you swipe your card, and the money is transferred to their terminal or to their merchant services account instantly through Visa. Okay. The bank hasn't transferred the money. Visa transferred the money and is waiting for payment from your bank account. And that could take a day or 2 days for that to transfer through. Okay. The same thing goes with this instant payment network or system for Electroneum. So you're going to go in, you're going to swipe your card or use your phone to do your touch. I mean, that's really what this is going to come down to. And basically, what's going to happen is Electroneum is going to transfer the coin immediately. Okay. And then what's happened is it's called fencing. So the crypto that you have in your wallet that's hooked to the system, however you've got this hooked on through your phone, through say like an Apple Pay service type of deal, which I potentially see this happening. Basically what's happened is they fenced off. If you use 10 Bitcoin, or not 10 Bitcoin, but 10 Electroneum to go buy something. Well, now out of your wallet, 10 Electroneum is fenced off, and you can't use that anymore. Okay. It's basically
no way to double spend it.
Right. It's on hold.
Just like your credit card, you make a purchase for $10, automatically I can look on my phone. It says I've got a $10 purchase pending on my account.
Exactly.
I don't have that credit available anymore. So the merchant's not going to get their money for 1 or 2 days, which is standard in Visa, MasterCard, all the credit cards. Mm-hmm. So this is acting exactly like a current credit card processing system. Now, how long does it take if I go to pay something in Bitcoin? How long am I going to have to stand there in line before I can leave?
It depends. It really depends on how loaded the network is. The quickest, you're probably 5 minutes. The
could be a half hour to an hour, right?
It could be a half hour. And to tell you the truth, with Bitcoin, the way it works, it's called your steam. How much extra Bitcoin you're putting on the transaction is how fast it goes. So it's like you're tipping your transaction. I want my transaction to go faster, so I'm going to put a little bit of extra Bitcoin on the transaction to make it go faster. Okay. But if someone else gave a little bit more Bitcoin than you did, well, theirs is going to go first.
Sure.
Okay. And then it's called Steam basically on that. But that's the way the Bitcoin blockchain works. Now here's the thing. If Bitcoin wants to make a deal with Electroneum to use the network, this instant pay network that they'll use Bitcoin, well, then you can pay them Bitcoin too. It's going to be per coin what they're going to sign up to do this. And of course, with the merchant's got to be able to say that they're going to accept it too, because here's the thing. Merchants may not want all 1,600 coins,
right?
Out there. They may only want Bitcoin. They may only want Ethereum. Okay. So hopefully what's going to happen is Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to get in the works with Electroneum to use this payment network. So
they might want to accept the top 100 coins. I mean, they may not really care. All they want to know is that, hey, I got this, and I'm going to get paid for this amount.
But here's the thing: they've been testing this over the last month, and I forget how many companies were testing this. I think forget.
There's 1,000. I think there's 1,000.
Well, no, I think there's 1,000 that they've allowed now that it's live.
Right. Okay.
That have been approved.
Testing it, right?
But there are 1,000 a lot more. Yeah, it seems like there was a lot more that were testing it out. But now that it is live, there's 1,000 merchant services company, however you want to say it. There's 1,000 companies out there accepting Electroneum through their instant pay system. Okay, so that's the first thing that's happened this week. The second thing is KYC. Know your customer. And why is this important?
How big is that? It is huge, because what this does, so in real life, in real business applications, KYC, know your customer, is big because if you're transferring funds, depending on what it is, they need to know it's a whole money laundering issue and things like that. They want to know who their customer is, what kind of funds they have, their ability, things like this. It just makes doing business proper and easier, I guess you could say.
Well, legitimate
business, right?
It makes it legitimate business, right?
One of the biggest complaints about crypto or Bitcoin in the beginning was people were doing malicious, illegal activities, things like that. They
were doing shady shit. Yeah, they basically, this is where Silk Road. Right. Yeah, this is where Silk Road stuff comes from.
So KYC all of a sudden really, really legitimizes a company. Now with Electroneum, they've signed a lot of different deals with big mobile carriers and big companies like that, and everything was hype was good and yes. And when they got right down to thing, the attorneys were like, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold on a minute. You got to know your customers. You got to, we can't just start accepting money when we don't know where the money's coming from or who it's coming from." And so that's why they have been working diligently for the last few months or so on this getting KYC, and they've just teamed up with a company, Yoti, I think it was.
Yoti, YOTI.
So now everybody that has Electroneum, when you go in to sign into your account, you're going to have to go through a verification process. There's 3 different levels of verification. I haven't done it yet. It just came out on Monday, I believe.
Yep.
And with the different levels, if you have a certain amount, you got different levels. There's still some more to learn about it, I think, but
yeah,
we're kind of going through that
to tell you the truth, I actually did it this morning. Took me about 30 minutes to get through it. But first thing you need to do,
all levels, one level.
No, I'm only on level 2 because I'm still waiting for my level 2 to be verified. Okay.
So level 1 verify fast.
What's that?
Did level 1 verify fairly fast?
Right, but level 1. So let's talk about this for a second. Level 1, guys. Level 1 is you going in and putting your information in, verifying it. Just you. Okay. So anybody can get in the web or your wallet page. If you go in and click on settings and then click on your personal information, this is where you go in to do the verification. It's going to say, what is your legal name? What is your legal address? What is your legal contact information? Okay. That's what it's going to ask you. Once you put that information in and hit, that's your stage 1 verification, your tier 1 verification. Okay. Second part to this is Yoti. So this is where you're going to go download the app on your phone, whether you have Android or Apple, it really doesn't matter. Okay. You're going to go download the app. You're going to go through the Yoti verification, which is it's going to take a picture of your driver's license, the front and the back, and it's going to take a selfie of you. So why does it do this? One, it pulls all your personal information off your driver's license or passport. You can use either or. Okay. Then it takes a selfie of you using your phone so that your picture matches your identification that you just input. So that's how they verify you are you. Okay. So then what happens is you go back to the Electroneum homepage, you go back into your profile, and there's a QR code there. You click the QR code from the Yoti app, and it sends all the information that's been uploaded and verified over to Yoti or over to Electroneum from Yoti. And it does it instantaneous. It did it immediately for me. Took 2 seconds. Okay. And then on Electroneum side, they will ask you to upload a bill of some sorts. Okay. Like a utility bill. I just use my gas bill to do it. But this is the same thing. This is the same exact verification that every exchange out there is doing.
Right.
All of them
So
are doing this.
It's nothing new. Right.
This is nothing different. Okay. So once I uploaded, and here's the thing, you can't use a PDF. This is a big thing. You cannot use a PDF of your utility bill, which it seems they all download. Is if you go online, and here in the US anyway, if you go online, download your utility bill, it's going to come as a PDF. It has to be a picture, a JPEG. So you have to convert it and upload it back in. Now, here's the thing. My parents are into electroneum as well. I spent a good 45 minutes on the phone today with my mother going over this. So luckily I'd gone through it first, and then I went and helped her get through. So we are both now on tier 2, level 2 verification going through. I don't know what tier 3 is yet, because why? My tier 2 is, it says pending right now. Okay. But here's the reason why. If you're going to use the Electroneum app, if you're going to use the Electroneum wallet, you have to be tier 3 certified or verified. Okay. Tier 1 means that you can use the wallet as a wallet. You can send Electroneum into it and store it there. That's what tier 1 gives you. That's you just putting your information in and hitting submit. Okay. Tier 2 lets you release your ETN, your funds, your coin out, but at limited intervals. So the most that you can pull out in a 3-month period is $10,000 US dollars, or no, euros, sorry, 10,000 euros worth of Electroneum. Okay. So right now that's a lot of Electroneum because the price is so low. What will happen in the future? We don't know, but we're all planning on this going up. That's why we're all invested in this. Okay. That's going to go up to $1 or $3, or hopefully, a year, €1 to €3, whatever, because that's worth more than the US dollar right now. So here's the thing. That's tier 2. Tier 3 will give you unlimited access to your funds. Okay. So you can move them all out if you wanted to at the same time, but you have to be tier 3 certified or verified for that to happen. Okay. I do not know what tier 3 is because my tier 2 is still being verified right now. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but with 1 million wallets, they did announce last week, we have 1 million wallets, 1 million users that have downloaded the app. So that's 1 million Android users that have downloaded this app and are using it. How many people have been doing this? And this is the 3rd day that this has been live. I don't know. How long this is going to take, I don't know, because why? It's not mandatory right now, but I think most people are doing it to get it out of the way.
They're giving them 30 days to get it done, right?
Well, before it's mandatory. Before you'll have to do it. Before you will be required to do it. Before you can even use your wallet. Right now, you can
log in and you won't be able to
use your wallet right now, just like normal. Okay.
Right.
So, or how not normal, but how it has been normal. Okay. So if you want to go take all your funds out right now, you have the ability to take all your funds out and go put them on an exchange somewhere. I'm not going to tell you to do that because that's actually risky to keep coins on exchange. But
I saw somebody recommend that today.
Yeah.
Go put them on the exchange.
Yeah, sure.
What do you have? 3 Electroneum coin? Okay, put them on an exchange. If you have 1 million Electroneum coin, not very smart.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So basically, this is the whole reason of KYC. Why? So all these big deals that Els has made with all these mobile carriers and payment carriers and gaming down in South America, that was the game platform and stuff like that. Why? This makes ETN a legitimate business. Okay. And it's not a security anymore. It doesn't fall under any of that stuff. But at the same time, it's not privatized either. So basically, they're trying to go mainstream. They're trying to bring more mass adoption in. This just opens up more doors for that to happen.
And they could care less about the price right now. The price is not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, they do want it to go up. Els has said that. They do want the price going up.
Right. But that's not their focus at the moment. I mean,
but their focus is
step down so they can gain mass adoption.
Right.
And as people join in,
laying their stepping stones.
It'll come up on its own.
Yeah.
So
they're laying their foundation. They're laying their stepping stones, so that when the market turns and we're all sitting here going, okay, we're in a bull market. This thing is going up like crazy. Well, guess what? ETN is already there and ready to go. There's nothing going to stop them anymore. And
And that's exactly what I was just going to say too. I mean, yes, electroneum is down, but everything is down, people. Everything. So the fact that we're down is not because electroneum is a crap coin or anything like that. The whole market is down. And so the key is who in those coins and tokens and stuff are doing something right now, and what are they going to look like when the money starts to come in again? I a lot of these, I hope they're working on stuff. I mean, they're not just sitting by thinking, "Oh crap, we'll wait till the market goes back up and then we'll get working on it again." They're not doing that. They're working on it now.
And that's the thing. Use cases, guys. Use cases. That's where everything is at. Is what's the use case, and that's where you can go look at coins. And even in the top 10 coins, how many of those coins actually have use cases? Okay, I can tell you, EOS has a use case. They're looking for payment system. XRP has use case. Okay. Bitcoin doesn't have a use case.
Right.
I don't think Ethereum even has really a use case for their stuff, other than they're a platform that everybody else uses to launch their coins off of. Litecoin actually wants to be used as a payment system. That's why they're coming out with the Lightning Network. So they have a use case, but you got to look and say, which ones of these actually are working on stuff for the future for mass adoptions? And it's very few. Right. That's why out of the 1,600 coins that are sitting on CoinMarketCap, how many are really going to survive this? Really, how many are going to survive mass adoption? Because it's not just happening overnight, and it's not going to happen just in the next year. This is going to take a while to go through. And that's why I'm looking at 2019 as a good year. The reason why is odd years seem to be really good years in crypto history. So 17 was a good year.
Can't be any worse than this year.
Yeah. Right? So 17 was a good year. I'm looking at 19 as a good year because why? That's where we're looking at my little list here. We've got the NASDAQ is launching in Q2 of 2019. That's when they're launching their exchange. So that'll be good next year, but that's going to be Q2 next year. Okay. What did we say here? Goldman Sachs is launching. They don't know if they'll be ready by the end of the year, but I have heard at the end of November for them. Okay. For them going in. We've got Chicago Stock Exchange, Boston Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange. I thought was end of year too. I thought they were trying to, but it could be in the first next year, depending on their ETF. Okay. You've got, what was it? You've got Jamaica Stock Exchange, which I think is still hilarious, but they keep popping up in the news. They're starting their own crypto exchange, Yeah,
man. They're gonna
so I mean, we've got all this stuff. Great. Here's another one. Yahoo Finance now lets you buy and sell directly to fiat, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. That was announced last week. Wow. So Yahoo Finance lets you do fiat to buy, just like Coinbase does. Okay. And I was like, that one was a new one coming out. You're right. Bittrex. We talked about Bittrex. They launched their USD platform. So every state that's approved it now is in. So Utah's one, Arizona's one. Yeah. I mean, there's just, I'd written all the stuff down, but yeah, there's just
one thing we haven't talked about that we missed because of the week off, was the exchange, the new exchange that Electroneum got put on. OEX
and Liquid.
Yeah, and so people don't know OEX is like the second biggest exchange there is, right? Yeah. It's huge, people, and it hasn't got very much news on it, but that's a huge listing and a great opportunity for people around the world to participate with ETN.
The second largest exchange out there. Now, the reason why Liquid kind of took a backseat too. Liquid, if you go look, here's the thing. How many of you out there use multiple exchanges? And how many of those exchanges look exactly alike? And they're not really user-friendly. I mean, Coinbase really is about the most user-friendly exchange out there that you can find, right? I mean, but they only had 5 coins now. And it's, do you want to buy into this or do you want to sell this for fiat? That's seriously what it is. Okay. There's not really a lot of exchanging going on or trading going on there. It's just a way to get in. But here's the thing. Go take a look at Liquid. Liquid is set up extremely user-friendly, very graphic interface friendly. They actually have kind of a coin market cap loadout, but it's so much prettier to look at. It is an easy exchange to look at. Just go sign up and look at it. We've put the links in on the site and the different groups and everything like that. So just go take a look at it and see. It's actually really nice. Now, here's the thing. Why is this important for Electroneum? Okay, that they're listing Electroneum. Well, here's the thing. It's not just that they're listing Electroneum. Electroneum has actually partnered with them. Now, why would Electroneum want to partner with an exchange? Well, Electroneum has talked about they want a instant buy app to where you can go buy Electroneum on your phone, okay, with fiat and everything else. Maybe that's the reason why they're partnering with an exchange, so that you can do that. I think so. They haven't announced it yet, but the thing is they do have a partnership with Liquid, and that's where it's a little different from just getting listed on big exchanges. They found another exchange that's actually very user-friendly to look at and user-friendly to use. And I think that's what they're going to be doing, is using them to do their instant buy in the future. So I think that's the whole reason why they're doing that.
Could be.
So, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, we will.
So, but that's some of the big stuff. We've already gone an hour, but one of the other things I did want to bring up real quickly is that here in the U.S., crypto ATMs are starting to pop up everywhere. Okay. California, just Southern California, there's a company that just put out 10,000 ATMs, and they do not require a bank account to buy crypto. So basically you can take cash. I think you do have to put your ID in. So you stick your ID in, it scans it. And then you put cash right in, and it deposits it right into your crypto wallet, whatever wallet you're using. Okay. Now, I have not had a chance to use one of these yet. I know they're starting to come around Arizona. I'm starting to see a lot of them actually around Arizona as well. So these are starting to become quite big. I know for those of you that are into dispensaries, medication, things like that, a lot of these are popping up in front of dispensaries. So that's where a lot of this is coming from, is basically, I'm not going to say drug money, but it is legal. So, but the fact is, that's where a lot of this stuff is popping up, or these ATMs are going in front of dispensaries, things like that, to try and help out with that industry as well, because they have a hard time getting their money in and out of banks with the federal government looking down on them. So I know that's what's big, but ATMs, guys, that's mass adoption. That's the whole reason I wanted to bring that up. Mass adoption. There's a lot of stuff coming out that's public now. And this is why 80% of the US citizens have actually heard about crypto and Bitcoin now. That's why this is becoming more mainstream and more accessible for everybody. So that's what we like to see.
Yep. Headed that way, headed in the right direction. So,
yeah.
People are going to be looking back here in a year from now saying, man, I could have got some good stuff. I could have bought some good coins for cheap.
Yeah. So, I still think $6,400 for Bitcoin right now is
pretty cheap.
Is one of the biggest steals you're ever going to find. I mean, if we go back 7 years ago, where people were basically when Bitcoin hit $120, right? People were mass selling out like crazy. Oh, it's never going to hit higher than this. It's never going to hit higher than this, right? And they're saying, oh, the numbers will let us hit 10,000. The way the numbers look, it's going to hit 10,000. No, this is it. This is the highest it's going to do. And people were selling out like crazy at $120 for Bitcoin. Okay. And then what happens? Last year, it hits $20,000 for a Bitcoin. And people, 5, 6, 7 years ago, were saying, there's no way, that's never going to happen. We will never hit that. Okay. And now we're talking about, we're going to hit $250,000 for a Bitcoin. And people are saying the same thing. Oh no, Bitcoin's dead. It's never going to hit that. You just wait. Bitcoin's going to hit highs that we can't even fathom. The latest article I saw on that was by 2030. So that's 12 years away. Bitcoin will be $100 million a coin.
Holy crap.
So if you're thinking $6,500 is too much, $6,400 right now, whatever it is too much for a Bitcoin, I would go back and think about that again, that it's not too high yet.
So I'm thinking I'm just going to hold mine. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to hold mine too.
Good idea. Good idea. So the new retirement plan, 1 Bitcoin.
1 Bitcoin. Do the Charlie Lee, guys. Do the Charlie Lee. 1 Bitcoin.
There'll be a point when you can't hardly buy a Bitcoin. You will never be able to buy a full Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Unless you got $500,000 sitting around. I mean, it'll be crazy. So. All right. Well, there's a lot of good news and stuff. As far as the market being down and stuff, there's still some good, especially electroneum and some things coming, I think. So I'm excited. We'll see what happens. This will be an interesting month, I think.
Yeah.
So
I think it will. I think we're going to see some turning now. This coming into the end of this month, going into the end of the year. So for Q4, I think this is where things are going to start turning. But let's just see. Let's just see what happens.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Be sure to send us your questions, comments to Crypto Millionaires Club, and we'll be glad to talk about it next week on the air. We'll just see what happens next week, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang, right?
That's right. As Crypto NWO says. So
that's right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I hope everybody has a great week. Thank you, Vance, for paying attention to all the different news that's coming out so he can provide us with all this great news each week. And we will see you all next week.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. See you later.